Wrongful convictions, innocence. Center on Wrongful Convictions, launched in April 1999. Prisons and people on death row around this country are populated by many people who have been wrongfully convicted. Innocent people doing someone else's time. The center receives about 3,000 inquiries a year from inmates around this country for help. DNA exonerations nationwide. There have been 337 post-conviction DNA exonerations in the United States. The very first DNA exoneration was in 1989. Exonerations have been won in 37 states. Since 2000, there have been 263 exonerations. 20 of the 337 people exonerated through DNA served time on death row. The average age of exonerees at the time of their wrongful convictions was 26.5 years old. Out of the 337 exonerees, 206 were African Americans, 104 were Caucasians, 25 Latino Americans, and 2 Asian Americans. The actual suspects, perpetrators, have been identified in 166 of the DNA exoneration cases. Those that were the actual perpetrators were also convicted of 146 additional crimes, including 77 sexual assaults, 34 murders, and 35 other violent crimes, while the innocent sat behind bars. Texas holds the highest number of DNA exonerations at 49. 27 states provide compensation for each year the exonerees were wrongfully imprisoned once they are released. Estimates show that at least 1 in 25 people will be exonerated from death row in the United States. The criminal justice system needs to reduce the amount of males and females being sent to prison for crimes they didn't do. Studies show that estimates between 2.3% to 5% of all prisoners in the United States are innocent. For example, if just 1% of the prisoners are innocent, that means that more than 20,000 innocent people are in prison. Herman Adkins. He was the 70th person in North America freed from prison as a result of DNA testing. Herman Adkins was convicted of forcible rape, forcible oral copulation, and robbery. He was sentenced to 45 years in 1988. He was pursuing his master's and doctoral degree in psychology from California State. He was the son of a highway patrol officer. He was accused of raping a woman during a 1986 robbery in Lake Elsinore shoe store. In 1993, the Innocence Project requested that the evidence be tested. He was found not guilty. Patrick Croy. In 1978, Patrick Croy was working as a logger in Eureka. He was at a party one weekend and a police officer ended up dead. Croy was convicted of attempted robbery and for the officer's murder. The jury didn't convict Croy for intentionally killing the officer. However, they convicted him based on the theory of felony murder. This pretty much means that they convicted him for committing a robbery that resulted in an officer's death. He was sentenced to death. In 1985, the case was retried and Croy's death sentence was overturned. He was released in 1990. Gloria Killian. Gloria, while on break at McGeorge Law School, was convicted of robbery and murder. She was sentenced to 32 years to life in prison. She was found ineligible for the death penalty. An attorney found letters showing the lies that the Sacramento Sheriff's Office had done. The evidence allowed for a new hearing. This resulted in her being let out in 2002, 18 years behind bars for something she didn't do. Gloria Killian is an aspiring attorney, a member of the steering committee of the San Francisco-based nonprofit Free Battered Women, and the founder and executive director of a nonprofit action committee for women in prison in Los Angeles, which is helping women in prison on death row. The list goes on and on for wrongful convictions. We only hear of some on the news. However, if people look deeper, they would find that wrongful convictions happen all. Leading causes of wrongful convictions. Eyewitness misidentification is the leading cause of wrongful convictions, a factor in more than 70% of post-conviction DNA exoneration cases in the United States. Improper forensic science is sometimes improperly done and/or said in trial in an inaccurate way. False confessions and incriminating statements were present in approximately 31% of cases. Informants contribute to wrongful convictions in 16% of cases. The use of jailhouse informants and other witnesses is a contributing cause to wrongful convictions. The DNA exoneration cases prove that wrongful convictions are not rare.